guys, Railroad Sniper here again with another tool review. This is a follow-up to the last video, which is the Ratchet comparison, and today we'll be going in depth on this Gearwrench quarter-inch drive 90-tooth ratchet. So let's just go over the basic details. Manufacturer Gearwrench, of course, I believe it's made in Taiwan. It's a 90-tooth mechanism, as you can see, forged right in there on the head or stamped on there. Got the comfort grip, which I think is really nice for the cold weather. Always love the comfort grip for that. The model is 81007T, if you're wondering. And as mentioned in the previous video, the back drag is a little stiff. Not the stiffest I've ever felt, but certainly not the lightest either. My Pittsburgh Ratchet has a lighter back drag, as well as my little icon. So it's like your switch. That feels nice and firm. It doesn't pop into place per se, but certainly not floppy. And I like how it's pretty flush. One thing I love about this ratchet is how slim the head is. Let's see if, I don't have any calipers on me, but I'll compare it. As you can see in the comparison, you know, if you have any questions about dimensions compared to those ratchets, go to that video. I'll pin it up in the card. I believe it'll be on this side. If not, it's on this side. Yeah, I forget, honestly. So, since this is a more in-depth video, we'll be opening up the ratchet today. As you can see, it's held in with a little snap ring. And for that, I've got my channel lock snap ring pliers, which we'll go over in a future video. So you want to have it set to well, see, this one's set to the external mode, but I feel like this is an internal snap ring. Let me know down in the comments if you know something about that. So you're going to get your little knobs in there. Make sure they're oriented the correct direction to get the pins in. You just squeeze it. You don't want to squeeze it too much. All right, there we go. There's our little snap ring. Set that aside. And from there on, let's see, I think you can just pull on the square drop. Yep, okay. So you'll just pull on the little square drop there. Now, as you can see, this is lubed with some kind of light oil from the factory, I believe. Look how thin that plate is. Oof. It can't be very strong. I mean, I guess that, maybe it depends on the snap ring for most of its strength or something like that. But that's kind of disappointing a little bit. Look how tiny those teeth are too. See if I can get a close up on that. Look how tiny those teeth are. That's what it takes to get a 90-tooth ratchet, I guess. Looks like they had provisions, maybe if they did have a quicker release. I'm not sure what if that's what the divot's for. Let me turn on this light over here so got at least a little bit more light. And let's see. Nice little thing. It's also got a little groove forged in there. I'm not sure what that's about. I think it's an O-ring. Or maybe see, yeah, there's a little O-ring in there. Okay. So, it's a pretty thin O-ring. So I guess this is a sealed ratchet. Partially at least. Not fully sealed. Set that aside, set the little plate aside. Okay. Get into the actual ratchet body real quick. There's the little cavity in there. See the pawl. See if I can get the pawl out. It's a tiny pawl. Oof. I hate to lose that thing. Look at how tiny that is. Wow. It's probably like 10 millimeters like wide or something like that. And it's pretty thin too. Look how tiny those teeth are on there. Let me see if I can focus it better. Yeah, look how tiny those teeth are. And I don't want to take the switch out because, actually, no. Well, I can probably take the switch out. Let's see. Should have brought like a pick to get down in there. Okay, cool. Alright, so this is coming out pretty easy. see, what am I getting hung up on? I'm getting hung up on the little pin thing. Okay, there's your reverse lever. You can see it's got the spring-loaded pin right there. That's tiny too. And it's got a little O-ring. Let's see if I can show you all that better. As you can see, the reverse lever also has an O-ring, so that's another way of sealing the ratchet. That's always nice to see. Keep dirt and debris from getting in there. And it looks like, in addition to this little spring-loaded pin, there's also a little spring-loaded pin down in the body of the ratchet. I've never seen that before, where it's like two little spring-loaded pins. Okay, let's get this back together before I like lose part of it, you know, if I can. So this is always the most difficult part, I feel like, you know, the reverse levers. If y'all have any tricks for, you know, oh, shoot. Okay, good. Didn't go very far, I don't think. Thank goodness. I hate to lose a little tiny thing like that. That thing's minuscule. But yeah, if y'all have any tips on, you know, getting these things in and out, I'd certainly be glad to hear them. I'm certainly no expert on that. I think to get it back in there, I'm gonna use the tip of my utility knife to push down that little. Oh shoot! Oh no! That's not good. Oh, good. Didn't go very far. Thank goodness for that. Am I right? Look how tiny that little pin is. Oh my gosh! That would have been a shame to lose. Let's see if I can get my Leatherman out. I should have used my Leatherman in the first place, I think. Just to get that little pin down in there. Probably should use some more specialized pliers, honestly. Like those channel lock E318s we went over, you know? Oh, dang. You know, I think I might have made a mistake, guys. Let me pause the recording while I look for that little spring. Guys, would you believe I found the spring? Look how tiny that thing is. I can't believe it. Like, I thought it was like a little speck of dust on the floor. Let's see if I can get that pin out, I guess. Man, it's gonna be a bear. Let's see if I can get my little pliers in there. Yeah, this turned into a little more adventure, didn't it? Than I was expecting. Oof. Okay, cool. Got it out. Now let's very carefully place this tiny little spring in there. Be very careful not to crush the spring. Push it down in there, like so. And then let's grab our little pin. Oof, that was stressful. Not gonna lie. Also, I did realize what that little pin at the bottom was underneath the switch. It's to like snap the switch into position. To give it a little firmer feel. Got our little spring down in there. Now we can set the pawl back in there, and you'll be facing the 9 and the 0. So you'll want this side. Let's see if I can show y'all better. You want that side facing out. Now, honestly, it looks like both sides are not symmetrical, so yeah, definitely make sure you you get that in there correctly. And I just put it in incorrectly. Yeah, we get the side with the 9 and the 0 facing out. And then you take your anvil and gear and just slot it in there. You might need to be able to press down that pin and able to get it in there easier. You get your little cover plate on there, like so. And then you'll grab your snap ring pliers, get your little pins in there. Don't drop it like me. Luckily this thing's a lot bigger, a lot harder to lose. Okay, maybe put a little tension on there to keep that from coming off. And you're going to get that seated down in there. Maybe use your fingers for help. And if you're like me and you want it to be perfect, you can rearrange it to where the little pins are more centered. And that is how you get your little Gearwrench, quarter inch 81700T and 8107T ratchet back together. You know, I have to say, I wonder if they over lubed it from the factory, because it feels a little better, honestly, after getting some of that lube out on my hands. You know, it doesn't look much better, so it might be a little placebo actually, but it does feel a little better. So, you know, if you're having a little stiffness issues, maybe re-lube it. Switches easily. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so now that we've gone through the little basic overview and teardown, let's do a little recap. I gotta say, this ratchet's a little better than I thought it was, you know. Just by using it, you know, it's not the greatest in my opinion, but like in terms of like longevity, I don't know how that little thin little head's gonna hold it, but I've put a decent amount of torque on it. I put enough torque, like same amount of torque on my little Pittsburgh. This is held up, and that Pittsburgh has a little fatter head, so I would imagine it has a bigger pawl. And it also has 72 teeth instead of the 90, so those have a little bigger teeth. But, you know, I haven't had any issues putting the same amount of torque on this, and this has the longer handle. So, only the future will tell how this thing continues to hold up. It's really easy to disassemble, not quite as easy as the Pittsburgh, which has 2 screws. You gotta have a special tool for this. You gotta have the pliers, snap ring pliers. But, you know, other than that, it's fairly easy to install, to take apart and everything. And it's the O-rings that are behind the faceplate and the little reverse lever are gonna help it, you know, keep dust out, keep debris out, and water. So that'll increase the life of the ratchet. Would I recommend this more? You know, I'd say I'd recommend it more after doing the little teardown. I can kind of see where my money went. But, I do believe the Icons also have the O-rings, and they're about $10 more. They're not quite as slim, but they're probably a little heavier duty, I would imagine. I know my Icon 3/8 flex head, the revised version, not the one that locked up. I know that one's taken quite a bit of abuse as well. But, you know, after doing a little teardown, I got a little more appreciation for it. I'd say it's a better tool after taking it apart than I would have said originally. The only thing I'd say to improve would be maybe like make this little cover plate a little thicker. That thing's like paper thin. I should have got my calipers out and measured it. But, you know, I think for what I'm using it for and for the low torque 1/4 inch application, you know, this thing will hold up fine. Anyway, so that's this basic overview and teardown of this Gearwrench 1/4 inch ratchet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.